Today we're gonna have a revision on some of the tricky parts of the topic we discussed before, which is subject-verb agreement. We already know that every and each is called an indefinite pronoun, and they're always followed by a singular verb, no matter what. So if we take a look at example E, we'll see every man, woman, and child needs. Also, each book and magazine is listed. Take a look at example M. We'll know that gerunds are treated as singular, so they take a singular verb. Okay, some expressions of quantity, the verb is determined by the noun following the expression. For example, take a look at example E. 2/3 of the money is. Why? Because money is an uncount word, so it takes a singular verb. However, example F, 2/3 of the pennies are mine, because pennies is a countable word, so we use a plural verb. Let's take a look at example L. The expression starting with the number. If we say the number of students in class is 15, so the number is, always the number is. However, on the other hand, take a look at example M. A number of students were late for class. With this expression beginning with a number of, we use a plural verb, not a singular one. We should say a number of, not a number is. With expletives beginning with there are and there is, it depends on the subject following the verb to be, whether it's a singular or a plural one. If it's singular, we use a singular verb. If it's plural, we use a plural verb. For example, take a look at example A. There are 20 students. Students here is a plural word, so we use are. We do not use there is. Similarly, in example B, there is a fly. A fly is a singular word, and that's why we have a singular verb. Certain countries, they can be mistakenly thought of as plural. For example, the United States. We should say the United States is, not the United States are, because it's a single country. The Philippines also is or consists, so the Philippines takes a singular verb, not a plural one. Names of certain organizations are also treated as singular. For example, the United Nations. We say the United Nations has its headquarters in New York City, because the United Nations is one single organization, and it takes a singular verb. The word news is singular. Certain subjects or fields of study or subject matters that you may study at school, for example, mathematics and physics or linguistics, we say mathematics is and physics is. Certain illnesses such as diabetes or hepatitis, we use also is, we use also a singular verb. Other illnesses include diabetes, measles, mumps, rabies, rickets, shingles. Expressions of time, money, and distance usually take a singular verb. For example, 8 hours of sleep is enough. $10 is too much to pay. 5,000 miles is too far to travel. Arithmetic expressions require singular verbs. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 and 2 equals 4. 5 times 5 is 25. The word people, police, and cattle are treated as if they are plural. They are plural nouns. So we say the police are and cattle are. We should not say the police is. English, example P, English is a language. However, if we take a look at example Q, if we put the before English, It turns the adjective, or it turns the word for language, for the English language, into a word for the people from England. So in example Q, when I say the English drink tea, I'm not talking about the language, I'm talking about the English or people from England, or the English people. And of course, they are plural, so we use drink, not drinks. The same applies to Chinese. In example S, we're not talking about the Chinese language, we're talking about the Chinese people or people from China, and it also takes a plural verb. Certain adjectives such as poor and rich, if they are preceded by the, it turns the adjective from an adjective into a noun. So if I say the poor, I'm talking about certain people who share a group, or share a certain characteristics, which is the fact that they are suffering from poverty. So the poor have many problems, and the rich get richer. We use in both cases we use a plural verb. Other examples include the young, the elderly, the living, the dead, the blind, the deaf, the disabled. Thank you, class. That's it.